Is it live?
But actually, you and another the individual. Mr. Art Woodson, who had a comment about me. Let's clear something up real clear. I can care less if you feel like I can be a politician or so forth. But what I need you to quit doing is coming up here lying about me and you working together in the past and things like that. The only thing me and you did was a water drive in the past. And when I seen how you move and how you lie and how you disrupt people's camps and things like that, I blocked you on my phone as well as on Facebook, and we have no communication, sir. And when you keep coming up here talking about we changing pipes and things like that, let's get this corrected. Me and my organization and some other nonprofits were the first ones in the city of Flint to change pipes at some homes that I own. You had nothing to do with that, but actually you and another individual who loved to come up to council meetings and disrupt it, came and tried to disrupt that, and that's all on MLive and it's all documented. So please stop with the lies, sir, because you don't make a good activist, a politician, or anything else. You're just a good liar. And the city deserves better than that, sir. And it's not personal. It's just giving you the truth.
Oh, I'm gonna give you the truth in a minute.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give you the truth in a minute.
Mr. Woodson.
Yes, you're right. I get another turn. Oh, it's on.
Mr. Woodson.
I ain't say nothing. I'm talking myself. It's on. All right. You took it.
I'm not going to say it again.
You took it.
Anyone else?
All right. I got you.
Go ahead.
No.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. For everybody that's in there. That's not what we were starting with, but we will be talking about Rule 27.3 being argumentative with the audience, because you can't do it. You can't do it. So because this is Friday, this is official, I guess, kickoff for football. Official, all the football fans, those who are down there tailgating at the big house. So listen, that was not the the first one, because I'm all about now what we're talking about, which is Kamala Harris and Walz 2024. And that is what it's about. So if you are in there, drop in the chat where you're from. I see Patrick Jean. Patrick Jean, you've been a lot today. He's talking about some good morning. Liddell, like, share, and subscribe. Patrick Jean, you're right, because we know she's watching. She mentions every meeting talking with Tonya. Yeah, look, like, share, and subscribe. Drop where y'all from. What state you're from? Eddie Grace, Charlotte Brown. We got Patrick Jean, Carolyn Hendricks, Lasagna Larry. We got Jade Williams. And so I don't have a full screen, y'all, just so y'all know. Carolyn Hendricks, I don't have a full one. Jasper Burt, Atlanta, the ATL. So I don't have a full screen. I got like a little clip of what the screen is. I don't have a full clip. So wherever you are from, Patrick, I know where you're from, okay? I know where you're from. Alabama. I know you from, I met Patrick probably over a year ago when Maze was alive, and he would be on Karen's TikToks, Jules' TikToks. And that's how I met him and some wonderfully great people. Good morning, Sydney Green, Dallas, Texas. Good morning, Cynthia Black. How you doing? Good morning, Sarah Perino. So We have got No Name. Good morning, No Name Bay. Listen, my DJ over here didn't have my lineup right, y'all, but he got the graphics. How y'all liking the graphics? I'm gonna give Mickey a shout out for the graphics. I'm like, look at him and put some time in it and making it look all good and interesting. Look, we need y'all to boost our algorithm. Click, like, and share. Take those phones, and we need y'all to click, like, and share. Just click, 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 click. If you're on YouTube, it's a heart. If it's on Facebook, it's a thumbs up, heart, or however. But click, like, and share. If you can't share, like. So you can boost our algorithm as we make some changes to the 810 fam. Good morning, Melissa. Melissa, I took some from your page I'm going to put up too. Also, I seen. Good morning, Marilyn. Dr. Marvin Tiller, Cameron, Sister Santa. She likes the pics. She likes the graphics. I like the graphics too, y'all. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Aluna Kellaway Lang. So it's been a lot happening this week. It's no surprise who I am supporting. I am supporting Kamala Harris and Walz for a lot of reasons. And what was shocking to me was the fact that good morning, Salty Chef. I see you in there too. What was shocking that came out yesterday was that, good morning, Deborah Overman, was that Dick Cheney, Mr. Republican Party, his daughter, Liz Cheney, stated her father will be voting and supporting Kamala Harris. Now, we know that the Republican Party has split so many times. Good morning, Marsha Tolbert. We know that they have split so many times, but for Dick Cheney to be saying and to have his daughter like lay that ground, that foundation, that's big, because that means the Republican part of the party with a lot of the old money are saying it's country over everything, that they don't agree with all of her policies, but they don't want Trump. They just don't want Trump. And I mean, that to me is something that we have to say. I have talked to people, women, and it has boggled me when they say, I just can't vote for her. Now, some women, we're gonna keep it real. People have problems with the color of her skin, that she has a white husband, and some people just have a problem with it. You got to take away her personal life ain't none of our business. And that, well, if she's president, I guess it is to a degree. It is. But she has a healthy, normal relationship. Unlike the person who's had five kids, 3 marriages. Come on. The standard that we are setting up for VP Harris is ridiculous. And some of us as Black people are holding her to a ridiculous standard when this guy has been charged with 34 felonies. He took out the page, the ad with the Central Park Five, called them criminals and all kind. They were like animals, and said so many negative things. He has said, grab women by their woohoos. He has said, you're sitting there, what is it? Blood coming out of something. I mean, come on. The dude is very vulgar. Very vulgar. And so when we say as Black people, because I'm a black woman, and people say, she's not Black. I literally had this conversation with someone last night. Her daddy is Jamaican. Okay. What part of Black that isn't? I don't understand. And the only people who are native to America are the Native American Indians. The rest of us are immigrants. That part just boggles me. Christopher Columbus did not find America. Okay. He did. It was already people living here. The land was inhabited by them. We came, wasn't we? Because Black folks, we didn't come here on the Carnival Cruise or the Royal Caribbean. It was a slave ship. It was a slave ship. So it wasn't like we was partying it up and having an all-you-can-eat buffet back in the day. Let's be clear. Black folks came here on ships called slave ships. So we need to understand why voting is important. Project 2025 will take us back. They're so busy trying to legislate women's reproductive rights. I don't want it for my daughter. I don't want it for my niece. And I share some very private things. They want you to start reporting if you've had miscarriages and other things. It's nobody's business. I had 2 miscarriages. And it's not easy. I don't want the government, in my business like that. I don't. And it's not something to where they should, it's not even necessary. They should not be trying to legislate women's vaginas. I'm sorry. Stay away from our reproductive rights, okay? What law tells you what to do with a man's private parts? I mean, y'all put them in the comments. Do you know of any, Mickey? Okay, I don't either. Now, they want women to have more kids, but then they want to cut the programs that help you take care of the kids. They want to cut them. And JD Pence has got to be the biggest idiot there is. His idea for daycare is the grandmothers and grandfathers can start helping to keep the kids. And that'll help. Okay, grandmas and grandpas ain't trying to necessarily step. They're still working too, because they're trying to afford to live in this country to buy toilet paper, milk, eggs. The things, our essentials are, they have been expensive. So you have to have, it's no longer the land of dad goes to work and mom stays home and raises the kids. I do not know, and I'm 55, of one housewife. I don't know of any. I have no friends who are just housewives. They're married. I don't know of any who are just housewives. I don't know. Do you know any, Mickey? Look, if somebody knows somebody that's a housewife. Good morning, Carolyn Hendricks, Tara. Good morning, Jasper Burke, Antoine Brown, Kwan, Sister Santa. I've already seen hers, I think. But listen, if y'all know of anyone who's a housewife, is like a dying thing. I was a housewife for probably like a year and a half. And it wasn't easy. I was like, and not because I love my kids. When your kids go to school, when you at home with this person all day, you're like, I don't know if I could do that. It takes a very special person. Good morning, Sheena B, Joseph Williams, Cameron, Connie Wiz. And I'm not saying housewife is not a respectful job. It's difficult because you got to balance everything. You become the Uber, you the chef, you're the maid, you're the organizer. You are the glue. It is hard when for a housewife. It's not an easy job. It's easier to go to work. But I think there's an expectation in marriages that good morning, JWC. I think it is. I think it is a expectation when, to me, it's a false expectation, because if we both go to work, we both responsible to take care of the house. Not you go to work, I come home from work, I have to grab the kids, I have to do the homework, I have to cook the meals, I have to prepare your meal, serve you. I have to do, the same thing. We both going out making a living and contributing financially to the household. Then the responsibilities should be shared. And it's almost like this. It's not almost like this is this 2025 project. It's like a caveman mentality, and for me, we're not going back. Women who have been raped, incest, to force them to have a child, or if it is a medical risk, for the woman, I'm with what's that? We're not going back. And that's why that was supposed to start. Did you find it, Mickey? So because y'all know I love it's my hype song. It's my little hype thing. I hope they do the DNC roll call like they did before for the Democratic Party, because it was off the chain. I was just like excited for all 50 states. Now, I did not watch all of the Republican National Convention because it was boring. I remember it was when was it Brian McKnight sung at the RNC, Black folks was mad. They was like, oh, I'm not watching or buying his CDs no more. But I love the fact that the creativity that the DNC said, let's get the DJ Cassidy. What's that?
Shit, I forgot his name.
They had a DJ.
Shit. Lil Jon.
No, they had a DJ though too.
They did.
There was a DJ. The DJ was there with a hat on with his brim on, but Little John did Georgia. But they had a DJ, and the DJ had a song for every single state, and each state, the song had a DJ Cat. Yeah. So I'm kind of hip, okay. So they had each state had a song that meant it meant something to them. So he selected each song because it had a value he felt to the state, and it was hype. I mean, I ain't felt so like I needed to watch, and I watched it, and I wasn't bored. I was not bored. So, well, we're gonna play y'all my little favorite. We're gonna watch this every week, okay? Because I'm getting turned up. So listen, Mickey, DJ, can you play my theme music? George, and then I'm gonna look at some of the comments.
Georgia, how do you cast your vote?
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala Harris for president. Five, and now, another round of shots. DNC, turn out for what? Turn out for what? Hey, turn out for what? Yes! Turn out for what? Let's go, let's go! Turn out for what? Hey, everybody get your hands up! Hey, everybody get your hands up! Hey, everybody get your hands up! Now, say, we're not going back! We're not going back! We're not going back! We're not going back! D.P. Harris! Give it the wall! D.P. Harris! Give it the wall! Hey!
Mr. Secretary, the South got something to say.
So we not going back. We not going back. It made you want to be in the room. It made you want to be in the room. So if we can, Tara said we need to get turned up at the, absolutely we need to be turned up at the polls. So Mika, if you can scroll down, because I think I saw a couple of things that okay, No Name said, oh, it was some other ones that was in there too. He said, I think it's really on the need of the marriage. My best friend has had 3 toddlers and her husband's a full-time pastor, so she's needed to be home. It's based on the need of the marriage. And I agree. It is based on the need of the marriage, and depending on what you're in. I don't think anything's wrong with being a housewife, but it has to be a shared responsibility. And like I said, I don't know most women, as we talk, it used to be the games that you played as a kid, hopscotch, duck, goose. You played school was a game. Y'all played school? Did you ever play school? You didn't play school? Oh, when you get to be the teacher and
I thought I had a career as a wrestler as a kid.
Really?
Yeah,
House was a game with the baby dolls, and somebody would be the husband. You never played those? Okay, I bet you played the little nasty one, hide and go giddy out. Hide and seek, and then it was hide and go giddy out.
But I didn't play that as a kid.
Oh,
I was in the sports.
Listen, those were the games where you never played school, never played house. They taught you that in kindergarten about the house. You got to cook and
I thought I was gonna be a wrestler coming up.
okay. 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 So, anyways,
Say Jessica said they weren't allowed to play house as kids. See, that's how we wasn't even. We were some bad kids.
we played school a lot. We 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 played school a lot. We did. And we had 1 year of white baby doll because wasn't no black ones. But my parents was trying to find, but it's what we were moms. Now the difference is my daughter did not play um house or school. She stayed very active. So the generation, it changed. Matter of fact, I do not have grandkids because my daughter's like, who gonna take care of the babies? And she's married. She like, no, we're gonna live our best lives now. She's all the time that you spent working, running us around. She's like, I don't want to do that. You had us in everything. My kids literally were in everything. They were in gymnastics, cheerleading, baseball, basketball, did I say baseball? They were in tap dancing, ballet. They were in, I know I'm missing something, but for me, band. Um, I kept my kids busy, so they didn't have time, to do anything. But Michelle said she had a black baby alive. See, see, wait, Christopher Simpson. So he played spin the bottle, kissing the cute girls. Oh, so them was games people wasn't supposed to be playing. Them Christopher Simpson spin the bottom. Denise Moore, what she said she did, or she said we did too. But I mean, we had basic, and now all them kids do is stay on that, they don't even go outside. I mean, my neighbors, the kids next door, his name is Timmy, and both of his parents were engineers. They taught at Kettering, and his punishment would be literally, Timmy, we're going to make you go outside. That's your punishment. That is your punishment. And my kids stayed outside. My kids rollerbladed. I taught them how I would rollerblade with my kids. My kids, they played outside. And we had a trampoline in the backyard. So my kids stayed active. He literally would be threatened. We're going to make you go. I'm like, they are yelling at him saying they're going to make him go outside. Black families is a little different. That meant, when they say get your butt outside, that meant go outside. Don't keep coming back in that door. Don't let no flies in. Look, don't stand in front of the TV because your daddy wasn't made out of glass. Don't turn that heat up because you don't pay no bills in this house. And I used to sneak and turn the heat up. Oh, I got in trouble for that so much. But growing up, Michelle, that was a red light, green. We did play that red light, green light, go. We did. So anyways, so I appreciate everybody contributed in there. And I'm trying to read. Okay, let's put that back up about the water crisis. Okay, Rhonda Campbell, good morning, Tanya. Why the council never talks about the water crisis? Okay, well, that's not true. The administrative consent order is a part of the water crisis. We don't have 5 votes. So that's why y'all should be out there. We need people out there voting to get the 5th vote. I sent in for a request to have, we can't even put anything on the agenda now. We can't no longer, even the clerk can't. So it is up to the person. We talk about now they are the real goofy rules. We cannot put anything on the agenda. So I did speak to our Mr. Kenneth Miller and asked him for an update. But the administrative consent order, we have talked about that, where we have the 17 projects, which is part of the service line, part of the infrastructure. Now, if you're talking about the lawsuit part, that's not ours. You have to talk to your attorney for that part. If you have not been paid, the city of Flint has nothing to do with that part. They were actually a defendant in there to where they had to pay a portion. So we don't have anything to do with that. But as far as the water quality, I talked about it last week. You can go to the City of Flint website, and actually it's in there, Mickey, and we can put that back up. It's going to be the graph. It is a graph that showed right there. It was back right there. And it'll tell you the Eagle. So in that administrative consent order, and I don't have it here today, but the administrative consent order, which is a very large document, almost 200 pages, and I have went over that several times on my show. We've talked about and went over it at council. 5 people did not approve that, so it has not been approved. I want to know how we're funding it. And so what it talks about, part of that is our service lines, and what Eagle cited us for our findings and what we're going to do with that. So we don't have the authority to put anything on an agenda now. We don't. Those rules that they did, which can be changed if we get 5 votes, we need 5 votes. And Leon is not our 5th vote. He is their 5th vote. He is their 5th vote. And those rules need to be changed because it silences the voice of the residents. It silences the voice. You can see every time he votes, it is with them. It's just simply with them. And even when you look at, I think Candace was seeming conflicted a couple times when she was like she wasn't gonna vote yes. Y'all 5. You're 5. And when they speak, they don't speak in terms of the council together. The president of the council has a unique role, and it should be to bring the council together because you're bringing all 9 wards together. That is a part of the role that the council president should be doing. Bring all 9 council members together so that each voice is heard. Each voice is not heard in there. They're just not. They're not heard. And so when we want to, if it's something we want to put on, we can't put it on. The clerk can't put it on. And so only thing to change that is you got some elections coming up. We have some elections coming up. I am supporting Carol McIntosh for 1st Ward. I absolutely am. I'm supporting her for 1st Ward. I know she's going to fight for the people. She was Councilman Mays's selection for the Ethics and Accountability Board. She fights, she speaks up, and she's going to do what's right for the city. Councilwoman Jerry, can you put hers up? She put up the rules silence the voice of the residents as well as the council members. She's absolutely right. And you'll hear them saying the leadership of the council. So there's a clear, let's separate who we are, because titles, we were all elected. They're stuck on titles and, the leadership. Well, let me tell you where they made an epic fail at. They made an epic fail at, number one, the making sure residents were well aware of, I'm going to say, the water crisis, number one. What's going on? It is not talked about the way it should. And where we're at in our water quality, but the lead sample, so I think it's 1 part per billion now. And you can always go to the City of Flint website and it's up there. And it talks about the quality. Will we trust the water? No, I brushed my teeth this morning with bottled water. I'm going to be honest with you. I go grocery shopping when I'm out of bottled water. And so I think that it is important. And it is a mental part that the water crisis has on you, that you just don't trust water. I don't care if I'm out of town, at a hotel or at a residence, I use bottled water. I don't brush my teeth with with unless it's bottled water, because that's going into your mouth, into your body, and it's being ingested. So those rules are not set up for everybody. They're just not. And the only way we can change that is to get a 5th vote. We know that Leon is not a 5th vote. He's just not. He's not our 5th vote. And he has literally voted no. He did one time. I was like, oh, wow, look at him. He's voting right. Then that was on a Wednesday. They called a special meeting. Said, hey, get over here. You better correct what you just did. Don't be pretending like you for the people. Don't be pretending like you for the people. That's not what you do. That next day they called a special meeting. He came back in and voted yes on everything. He voted no. I don't know. We got people out there who make these clips. Was it 810 Flint? I don't know what day. We need a TikTok of that one. We need a TikTok or AK Cole. We need that where he voted no. And I was like, okay, I could, then he voted yes, but the next day. So my thing is this. If you're receiving, he has a nonprofit. He has a nonprofit, and his nonprofit is grant funded. It is not a for-profit. So his nonprofit receives money. And so when that's what he receives, he's got to do what they tell him to do to get those grants, to get that ARPA funds, to get whatever funds. He has to go along with, and I'm gonna hate to say, because I think the establishment is getting such a bad rap, with some things, because there's a balance. And then I think one day I'm gonna talk about, and I'm not gonna do it today because it's football day. I'm gonna talk about, when we talk about the Mott Foundation, the what they call the Uptown Five, and what has Mott done for this community, because my views are probably going to be different from everybody else's. They really are not different, but to encompass it as a whole. I mean, because we got to look at what do they do in this community? What would this community really be without them? I remember you could buy a building downtown, literally, I think it was 6 stories, $26,000. And this is about 25 years ago, maybe 20. You could buy one for $26,000. I remember the building, it was downtown. Westtown owns it. It had, is it 6 bays? And then a large building, he bought it for $20,000. And this guy had the hydraulics with the lifts and everything. And so if we did not have, like we look at all these buildings, no one who wanted to invest. We got to start looking at, as a community, how we invest. We have and I'm telling you, the Arabs, the Middle Eastern, they are sticking together. They pooled their money. They buy gas stations and them stores, and then they'll lease them out to a family member. I mean, they are pooling their money and resources together. And so when we say the Motts are white, they have pooled their money. They've been here over 100 years. Over 100 years. And you just can't say all of their work is bad. It's not. That's just a fact. Now, where we fail is Black people, because we've got some successful Black people here in Flint. We've got we got some more morticians. We got Sheldon Banks. We got Lawrence Moon. We got who else is here? Sam Cox with the McDonald's, and we've got some other Black people. Why have we not all pulled together? I mean, and that to me is something that we have to look at, because imagine if we, as the Black people, pulled together. And so now we got a younger generation. Let's look at the club owners. So the club owners in Flint are Dink Sosa. You got Ray Tyler. Is his name Big Meats or something? Or I don't know. You who own Black clubs and are promoters who actually pull crowds. Imagine if that Pooh Diddy, Delano, Burton Jr., imagine if all of them got together and pooled their money. Because the other communities, they pool their money. They pool their money together. And just like, I know a person he's got 22 gas stations. He don't manage all of them. He leases some out to relatives, and they have food and everything else. And just built a great big one up in Port Huron that is like a pilot, and it has for the semis, got the restaurant. Yeah, the little nice things like they have in Ohio. Is it Ohio? The turnpike where you pull over, everybody can get gas, put your semi, and not millions that they spent. A way station, a car wash, if it's family oriented, it's got a playground for the kids. I mean, they pooled their money together. We literally, and we have almost, how many Black people on that council? Let's get back to, because the council, we've got, is it 2 white people? So 7 Blacks. And Dennis is more black than more than some of them black people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, we got a majority black and we city council and the mayor's administration. A black police chief, a black mayor, a black fire chief, a black city administrator. For what? Oh, council is majority. Well, you know what, Mickey? So we have a majority black council, a majority black administration, people in key positions, and there is no black agenda. So the leadership has to change. Council should have a black agenda for our community because that's almost 60% of the people, and who are minority. What are their needs? What is it that they are facing? And we have there's just none. And it should also be a the poor people's agenda because that strikes color. I'm gonna tell you, I be telling people these white folks ain't afraid of you in Flint. They live in your neighborhoods next door to you in every single ward. Then black people, in the black wards, they got white folks living in their wards. They do. And look, how you can spot some of them if you see that American flag. They are not afraid of black people, okay? They are not. There are black people in the first ward, Holmes Street, okay? White people, you got them living in the neighborhoods that people thought was, all black. They live, my block. My block has got 8 white families still. That's just my little block. You go down the block, you got that village is renting if you're looking for speaking we have got a mix, but our black agenda and how
feed. Lord have mercy. We back.
Listen,
I don't
did
know
it keep
what
us up on? Did
Yeah,
we?
nah,
Did we?
back.
Did we stay on?
Yeah, we back on. We back on everything. Facebook and YouTube.
Okay, y'all. Look, we had some technical difficulty. So, look, don't talk about no black agenda. Woo, listen, do not talk about a black agenda or they get cut. So listen, that to me is something I look at. I have worked with black people, white people, and Arab people, Middle Eastern. I look at our black agenda, and I have never. To me, and here's one of the things I'm going to share. This when I had, I was the first. I was the only female and black person to have an ADT dealership, and it was in Michigan, Illinois, and I operated in Indiana. The one thing about me, they all knew that I was black and didn't care. You wasn't going to talk crazy, and there were over 1,000 dealers in the U.S. and mostly white Republican men, mostly. And so it was at our conventions, they would bring their secretaries, and they would try to make little jokes that were, disrespectful towards black people and then to women. I had no problem getting them together. And I remember one time and not even one time, it was every time, our president of ADT of our dealer program, he would light them up and let them know. But he had different experiences. He had lived in Switzerland, so him and his wife had different experiences. But I think that we are in a society that we can no longer um, sit back and not say or do anything, because then you get city council and people, Mays always said he was a black man on the north side and he wasn't ashamed of it. And he represented that, and he lived in the hood. I mean, we're what Flint, that side of town, which once was vibrant when we had General Motors in, houses full streets are fully lined with houses and families. And the thing is, we have to start, how do you work together? I can work with you and not like you. The council meeting, you will find, I mean, the blatant disrespect where Liddell cussed at people. She called people the B name. She took all kind of shots at this last meeting. All kind of shots. How about Pfeiffer gonna take another 2-month vacation? I mean, just stuff that was, and then talking with Tonya. Yeah, look, girl, please click like and share. That's what I need you to do since you're watching. I think that when we have such divisive people, she doesn't include. She didn't want to approve my person who was a retired pharmacist for 35 years who went to Howard University, a historically black university. She had a problem with that because she's very vengeful, very vengeful. So let's switch on to, because we ain't gonna be here all day, y'all. Let's talk about, I want to. People were asking, and we got to talk about the recall. I'm gonna do the recall. So people were asking about the recall, and they were talking about that. And look, I hear it's a recall. They claim they want to recall me too. Somebody out there want to recall me too. I actually had, and this was some black people, but I actually had a lady's husband inbox me to tell me his wife and him are getting a divorce and she wants my job. Well, okay. I mean, it's a democracy, but it's some black people out there saying, they're going to recall me. Yeah. I mean, look, whatever. Listen, whatever. So, but I want to talk about, and I got, that's part of if you for counsel, if you don't like, what they're doing, you know, or your council person isn't doing the work, then that's what you do. I guess that's what you do. And so recalls have been prevalent for this council. I think all of the members, except for myself, have had a recall in. Uh, and so Anyways, I find it to be interesting. But that lady husband did inbox me and then called me. I was like, oh, he told it all. I was like, this is weird. This was like, okay. He was like, okay, I mean, he was going for her jugular with stuff. I'm like, okay. So when we talk about getting the work done with in your community, one thing I can say, I listen to my residents. My residents said they wanted roads paved. Ballinger Highway has been paved. They want Ballinger Highway, Thomas Street, Milbourne. The other end of Milbourne is now getting done. Fremont Street, Thomas, Orchard Lane. I have two new developments. They're revitalizing, redoing the Orchard Manor apartments and building two new establishments. Longfellow School will be redeveloped with the community partners, Community First, which are good community partners, which it'll be like Coolidge Square. One thing I didn't think would ever be done, because my residents have been to court, went to Judge Bell, which for this is even before I got on there, 801 South Ballinger will be finally torn down. I didn't think that would ever happen. I was working with the two owners, and the one owner, he had sold it a couple times. It was a mess, and they got into it over an insurance check and a fire is what it was. And so to hear that when Deb Cherry finally said it's going to be torn down. My residents wanted, like I say, sidewalk, streets paved. I listened, tear down, which I inherited Corona Road, making sure we got emergency demos for 9 buildings on Corona Road. Corona Road was really, used to be a vibrant. It's actually a state road. I have 6 organizations that meet, block clubs, and they meet regularly. So there are things that, and there's more things. I wrote an ordinance for the reckless driving, so that if you're sliding or driving and someone gets hit, or if it's dangerous, because I had literally in 3 people hit, 2 people died from reckless driving, speeding, 2 people. And so that's drove me to get to write an ordinance to where if you are caught doing that, you go to court, then the city of Flint can and will sell your vehicle. And because loss of life is serious. And one of them was, we all know the corner of and Ballinger and Flushing Road, we have our Muslim brothers who are there selling the final call or fruit. And one of the brothers was the ministers. He was killed by a hit and run. They later caught the person. And then there was another guy who was killed, and literally like right at in between my street. And so when I went out there, you could hear, the sirens and and I walked up there to see what was going on. And another time, Winters called me when the third person was hit. Winters was like, "We can't get 911," and Winters called me. She's like, "Where are you at?" And I called, 911 and the desk sergeant to get, because we were not getting a response to get an ambulance there. And Winters had called me, and I think I was coming from my mom's house, but the people in your ward have the right to do that. So I think this last one, and some of my concerns, I don't even talk about the recalls, but some of the things about this recall need to be talked about, because so the recall, Beverly Biggs, and she is running for the 3rd ward. She submitted 1,200, was it 114 or 15 sheets, I believe, and she had 1,236 signatures. She was told that it did not go through. So she was told that she had 699, or I think there was 2 numbers, 699 and 700 that were given. So those 2 numbers were given, that she had what they call were valid signatures. And they threw out or disregarded 300 signatures who were valid voters and registered, because they stated that they were duplicates. So my issue with that would be, and it had always been the precedence that you go by the date. You go by the date, because then my concern is, so say if you have someone's running, well, we had one time 17 people running for mayor. and you gonna have some duplicates on those qualifying signature sheets. You're gonna have them. And so you would always go by the date, who got the signature first. And so um so you would, whoever got the signature first, because you got 17 people running, the person who got it first would get, would get the registered voter. But what now they've done is taken out all of they took out 300 signatures. They said they were duplicates. So 150 were duplicates, and they threw them out. So if we take, say she had, I think she said she had 699, and someone else said 700 good signatures, and they threw out, let's say 700, and they threw out the 300 because they were duplicates. So 150 of those, you got to divide that by 2. I believe that's how my math is. I don't think it was 300 duplicates. I believe it was, 300 that had the same signatures. So you divide that by 2, so it was 150. That means she would have had 850 signatures. And she would have had, I think 751 was not, 751 was the amount. She would have had enough for that to go through. But my concern was, how do you change the rules? Because so say if you on those sheets, you have duplicates. Now you're saying you throw out the will of the people and you disenfranchise voters. So that is my concern. So how do you throw out what the voters, I don't understand that. And that was, she said it was new. She said July 15th they changed it. Well, I think when the lady, I don't even know the lady who did the recall. There was a lady who did it. I don't know her. Never seen her. And so if that lady was in that warrant and that was the will of the people, and at that time you have a hearing, and the hearing you go to, it's like in a little courtroom, and you can say, they ask you what you want to say before it's approved. And then there's like a waiting period. And so if you have that, they didn't have that rule before. They didn't have it when they approved it. So when it was approved, I don't know how many months ago, and then for them to July 15th to change it, how do you change midstream when that was not in the packet when she first received it? I don't understand that. And that part I don't get. I mean, voters have to, it has to be the will of the people. So when we look at that, how do you change midstream? And I'm gonna tell you, here's another reason why. There was an election for mayor. Only person, y'all check this out, who made the deadline. Do you know who it was, Mickey? It was Eric Mays. You heard about this. They went in and changed it to allow the other people. Eric Mays would have been the only person on the ballot. All other candidates missed it. So we know that they would have had to have been a write-in. So they went in and zoop, changed it. Eric Mays would have been the only person on the ballot. Everyone else would have had to have been a write-in. And they changed that. they changed it. He had turned his in early, and they they went in and changed that. Like, how do you do that? So I look at how they move, and they want certain people. So Mays had that one. I don't remember which election that was, but everybody else had missed that deadline. Which one? When we were first, so 2016? Was it 16? No. 15? Well, they showed change because everybody missed it but him. Eric Mays would have been the only one on the ballot. The only one. And so they changed that. So I don't know what the lady is, that she's going to, what she's going to do, but he might have been y'all mayor or it was our mayor, because his name was the only one. And they're like, we got to fix this. And it was fixed. It was changed to allow other people. So I don't know. Someone said, "Can Miss Biggs file a complaint?" Miss Biggs was not the. There was another lady. I don't even know her name. Who did it? I think Miss Biggs has she works with a group of people who do recalls, and so I don't know. I don't know. I just know Eric Mays could have been the mayor. He was the only person on that ballot. And so B. Marie, so Miss Biggs did have enough signatures. Yes, she did. She had enough, but they threw out, those were valid registered voters, and they threw them out, B. Marie, because they're saying they were duplicates. And on July 15th, they changed what the duplicate, they wrote something new about duplicates, but it has always been the precedence in the city of Flint, and every single thing with the elections, with the recalls, it has always been you go by the date. Anybody who got the date afterwards is, they don't get that person. So if I signed on the 1st of January, then I signed on the 18th of January with the first with Mary, the 18th with Joe, they would go with the first with Mary, because those are registered voters. So are we disenfranchising voters? Which is what they were talking about. And there were some attorneys that called me and were saying, this is a voter disenfranchisement, and they need to challenge this. There are attorneys who watch, and they're like, that needs to be challenged, because in the city of Flint, it has always been by the date. Who gets it? You don't throw out the whole voter. They threw out the entire voter. They said, hasta la vista, ciao, baby. They threw out the entire voter and said that, and it wasn't the voter wasn't qualified. They were registered voters. They threw out everything. And that's the voter disenfranchisement to me, because it has always been the date. And so there are some attorneys who are, Ms. Irma Shaw, saying, yes. Listen, Ms. Irma Shaw gonna speak it. She's like, yes. So when you throw out the entire voter, that to me is serious. But when you look at what was the will of the people, so you're saying that there was, she had, let's say 850 people in that ward had qualifying signatures for recall. And with elections, we know that in Black communities, voters are disenfranchised. They just are. So Jessica says, the question is, how public and accessible are the policies governing the collection of signatures? Are the criteria for acceptance clear? They changed it January 15th, is what I was told. And so I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So I haven't seen it. But I think that we have to, my thing is throwing out registered voters. That is a problem to me. Throwing out registered voters. So, okay. So now we're going to go on to, now we can go back and play that video. We're going to talk about, because Rule 27.3, or is it 4 now? 0.3 of the council rules, y'all. These are, oh, my camera down. Oh, I just can't see it. Okay, these are the council rules, y'all. And so Rule 27.3 states maintenance of order and debate. This is underneath that. And so it says 27.3, council members may not engage in any type of argumentative discourse of the audience at any time for any reason. And it was very clear that when Arthur Woodson stated that his remark was that Leon Elamine's vote was not an independent vote. He said your vote is not an independent vote. And that clearly triggered something in him. And by the way, I had it triggered something in him. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And so I couldn't believe what I was watching. One, when you're chairing a meeting, you have to be fair. If Arthur Woodson was given a warning, Leon should have been given a warning and put out that meeting too, because he would not stop. He did not stop. And he kept going. And Judy always has this selective hearing. Oh, I can't hear. Stop. If I can hear it on my end and you closer, come on now. And she has selective hearing. So let's play the video, because Rule 27.3 was clearly violated by the councilman in the first ward. Oh, Carl Lewis on there. Oh, Lord. Because Carl got through out. He was going to get his time to speak.
The individual, Mr. Art Woodson, who had a comment about me. Let's clear something up real clear. I can care less if you feel like I can be a politician or so forth. But what I need you to quit doing is coming up here lying about me and you working together in the past and things like that. The only thing me and you did was a water drive in the past. And when I seen how you move and how you lie and how you disrupt people's camps and things like that, I blocked you on my phone as well as on Facebook, and we have no communication, sir. And when you keep coming up here talking about we changing pipes and things like that, let's get this corrected. Me and my organization and some other nonprofits were the first ones in the city of Flint to change pipes at some homes that I own. You had nothing to do with that, but actually you and another individual who loved to come up to council meetings and disrupt it came and tried to disrupt that, and that's all on MLive and it's all documented. So please stop with the lies, sir, because you don't make a good activist, a politician, or anything else. You're just a good liar. And the city deserves better than that, sir. And it's not personal. It's just giving you the truth.
Oh, I'm gonna give you the truth in a minute.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give you the truth in a minute.
Mr. Woodson.
Yes, you're right. I get another turn. Oh, it's on.
Mr. Woodson.
I ain't say nothing. I'm talking myself. It's on. All right. You took it.
I'm not going to say it again.
You took it.
Anyone else?
All right. I got you.
Go ahead.
No, it ain't the truth. It ain't the truth, bro. Wait until I tell the truth.
Gentlemen.
Wait until I tell the truth.
Art,
Yes.
this is your first warning.
What? Man, he's sitting up here going back and forth too.
Point of order.
Get out of here.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
Yeah, hold on. First of all, I think that they have both stopped. And if we're going by council rules 27.2 or 3, that we should not be argumentative. The councilman in the first ward was argumentative. And I was waiting for him to stop addressing Mr. Woodson. So I would probably say at this time, let's just let it go so I can get my 2 minutes.
Go ahead with your 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Order. Point of order.
What's your point?
Are you withdrawing the warning?
No, I'm not.
I appeal the ruling.
I support.
Okay, there's an appeal to the ruling of the chair because Mr. Woodson continued to talk over people and I had asked him to stop very politely, and he chose to continue. I had given him his first warning. Go ahead, Mr. Pfeiffer.
So the councilman in the first ward was going back and forth with him after his time expired. So it's unfair that Mr. Woodson would get a warning when Mr. Elamine was, I believe he was saying, the truth hurts past his time. So I think that it's probably, let cooler heads prevail, but to give a warning when there was clearly a back and forth after the time expired is probably unjust at this moment.
This is the vote to appealing the ruling that I gave Mr. Woodson his first warning. A yes vote overturns the chair's ruling. A no vote sustains it. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin? Ms. Lewis?
No.
Mr. Murphy,
No.
Ms. Priestley,
No.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Mashat,
No.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett. The vote is 4 yes, 5 no.
The vote is 4 yes, 5 no. My ruling stands. Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
Thank you. So disappointed in my colleagues because we need to start having fairness. Clearly, Rule 27.3, which states council members may not engage in any type of argumentative discourse with members of the audience at any time for any reason. That's our council rules. And so when we get these 5 votes, which stay the same, it's not fair. It's not fair.
We're coming up on a major fundraiser.
He didn't have me unmuted. So the person that you're hearing, that's what it is, was Carl Lewis. Carl Lewis got put out that meeting. I think Kawana Mack got put out that meeting. Arthur Woodson got put out that meeting. But here's the thing, Rule 27.3 is very clear. The entire time, even though his mic was off, I could hear him. Leon Alamin was going back and forth with Arthur Woodson as to try to publicly humiliate him. That was what he was doing. Now, he was going back and forth with Arthur Woodson from his seat. He was asked to stop. No, he wasn't. Did she even ask him? Yeah, I mean, it was just, she pretended like she didn't really hear. If I could hear him and she's 2 people down from me, she could hear him because it was that Leon was going back and it was, he had put some bass in his voice, and he was not. He was arguing beyond his time. The timer had went off. He kept going back. So he kept having conversation. He was going at Woodson. He was going at him. Well, I'm like, well, that's not gonna go over well. So I mean, what they say on The Color Purple, when Mr. came home or whatever, I'm gonna watch and see what color the paint on the wall gonna be. So yeah, in a minute. Yeah. And so we were still in the meeting. I guess Woodson did a live. And then he put the picture up where he said, you know what, you're not telling the truth. And thank you to A10 Flint for doing that, because then he put up the picture of Leon and him at, I guess it was a service line replacement. He put that picture up. Leon said he didn't work with him. I mean, he put the picture up, said he did work with him. Then he said he was going to Judge Crawford's court and he was going to go get the papers where Leon had forged papers, turned them in to Judge Crawford, and he was going to bring the paperwork, and he was going to do it. What else did he talk about? Because he did a live, and I'm like, you not thinking. I mean, I seen this story before. Ask Maurice Davis. I mean, this not smart. And so he said, I work with you. I work with you with Dr. Dawson at the Broom Center. I work with you with, he named some of the other people that he worked with. I mean, he started telling them, I didn't know that they worked that much together. Did you watch that live, Mickey? I didn't know that they all had worked with some of these people. I didn't know. But he getting ready. Look, I'm gonna sit back, watch, and look, I'm here, I'm gonna be here for it. I mean, because he stated he had never worked with him. He blocked him. He stated he blocked him on social media. He blocked him with calling him. And he said he had nothing to do with him. I have never worked with you. And you are a you're stating that you work with me. Well, that picture shows y'all was at somewhere working together. That picture showed you were working somewhere together. Now, I don't think that Leon gets, you challenging Arthur Woodson. He gonna bring up them forged papers from Judge Crawford's court with her name is he talked about he talked about the young Ashante, I forget her name, Nakia Wakes. And I just talked to her. I mean, I would not have, and that's what that court case is. I didn't know about no fraudulent documents that Judge Crawford, and he was going to get the transcript. That's public record, and I think that Judy allowing Leon to go back and forth to allow that and to allow Leon to try to humiliate Woodson is not going to play out. She should have stopped it both. Then to put Woodson out so he couldn't speak. That was unfair. That was unfair. She has selective hearing because he was going back, as you heard Dennis Pfeiffer say. Dennis Pfeiffer said, Madam Chair, this is unjust. Leon Alameen in the first ward is going back with Mr. Woodson. Dennis Pfeiffer spoke up and he said he's going back and forth. And he was, and he didn't get the warning. I mean, it's crazy. So the only person ended up with the warning was Woodson because the council person who should know the council rules broke Rule 27.3. City council is held to a higher standard. We're not going to like what people get up there and say about us all the time. That's just what it is. I mean, you get Doug who get up there and talk about stuff that's not even relevant. Doug just keeps just lying. I don't even care. I think he just likes attention. He keeps saying that Carol McIntosh and he had mentioned Danielle Green with the Board of Education case. They were dropped from that case. They were dropped from the case. He is not stating facts. And when it comes to the unbuds person, when he goes down the list of all the unbuds people, Carol didn't even vote on that. She didn't even vote on it. They just didn't want him as the unbuds person, which would be the people who voted. They just didn't. And I don't know who all their selection is. And somehow I had influence on it. Just lies. Put up there like Shax the Little was my relative. Just like she's not and her husband isn't, but she's welcome to the barbecue. Okay. And so just the lies that they put out there. And so they allow and think it's cute every week. Doug come up there and lie and talk crazy. But then they allow Leon to go at Woodson. I mean, they're not keeping decorum. Put up that crazy slip too, because I got a problem with this slip, which is a violation of the Open Meetings Act. Because they're telling you before that you have to agree when you sign that. And Miss Liz Taylor, if you own here and other folks. So this says Flint City Council public comment. It says print your name. Respectfully request permission to address the Flint City Council during the meetings. Then it says special affairs, regular or special council meeting. Then it's got at the bottom, note, members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment with only one opportunity per speaker. Then it says, I understand and will conduct myself in accordance with the rules governing meetings of the Flint City Council. We got some janky rules. We have some unjust rules. We have some violating the Open Meeting Act rules. People should not have to sign this garbage because these rules that they have are garbage. A lot of these rules are garbage. And so in order for you to even speak, you have to sign that you agree with this crap. You got to agree with this crap. And all of these, some of the rules don't even make sense, y'all. I'm just saying, they don't make sense. And they're set up, for you to fail. So if you don't agree to these rules, then you can't speak. That's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. You got to agree with our goofy council rules, sign in order to speak. So then there was a issue with the box with putting the signatures. Everybody know that IRL is always there. And they say because IRL didn't put it in right, or, you should just sign your name to speak and that's it. All this other check the committee box. And no, because some people can't read. Some people can't read. You're stopping people from speaking who can't read. And so it is set up is the biggest, it's just ridiculous to me. Some people still sign their name with an X. Some people don't have the forethought or may have had issues or dementia or a learning disability. You got to be able to read and understand all that crap, and everybody don't. If you want to speak, get up to the podium or just sign in and put your name, and that part to me is, I don't like stopping the public. And Lord knows people get up there and don't always agree with me. They don't. And that's, if you want to, you can call me or you do what you need to do. But stopping the public from speaking is a problem. And this was a problem. And then you're allowing council members to be disrespectful. Man, I went out there to speak to, Doug wanted to see my receipt when he tried to accuse me and Jerry Winfrey Carter of doing something criminal. Boy, they had a heart attack, and I wasn't even talking. And my perfectly manicured fingernails with his over drama self. So I got issues with that part. So when that slip should not be a slip that you have to sign in order to speak, which means nothing in the Open Meetings Act, which is a real law document, does not state that you got to agree with council rules. We don't have that authority. That is a violation of the Open Meetings Act. And look, whoever done put out there, y'all need to put that in too. If you never signed up, and y'all don't even know, because some of y'all got signed up and got thrown out. Let them know that slip, that copy of that slip, you got to agree with the city council rules. That's crazy. Because them rules is fixed. You have a constitutional right of freedom of speech, and they have in there what they consider to be vulgarity. And what is vulgarity? Because some of them are some vulgar folks. Candace with her cussing, what the F you gonna do? What's up? What's up? What's up? I guess she was gonna be Candy from around the way because she wanted to fight. Liddell too wanted to fight. Pfeiffer, Rich that day, Woodson called me a bitch. So we're getting this from them. This is their behavior. But then they only enforce it on the residents and the people they don't like. We need a fifth vote. Leon Alameen is not our fifth vote. He's not. Support Carol McIntosh, 1st Ward. Carol McIntosh, 1st Ward. Somebody said, is this what we doing? IRL is usually the first public speaker. I came in after the meeting started, filled out the form, and was able to speak. That must be Oklahoma. Filled out. And IRL couldn't speak. And the IRL, I just kind of dropped my head a little bit because depending on what he gonna say, because he makes me laugh. He told me this week, I remind him of his mama with my hairdo. He was, yeah, you look like my mama, and with your hair like that. And I'm like, yes, it is a hairstyle from the 1940s. It really is. I just put the part of the top up, and then I put a bobby pin or I put a hair clip, and I keep it going. I don't have time to be fooling with all that hair. So I'm going to probably put that little ponytail back up because it's a lot easier than me having to wear my own hair. A lot easier. So that slip I have a problem with. Jessica said, vulgarity is anything to do with Halloween candy, funds, lawnmowers, 300K, Iowa trips, and criminality and criminal activity. You know what? They brought up that Iowa trip, what they did good for council. They have not shared one time what they did at this Iowa trip. I mean, just lies. Liddell brought that up at the last meeting. She has not said what they learned or what did they bring back from that trip. They haven't shared it with council. Have not shared it at all. Not at all. So, I'm going to get into this. We're going to kind of close out with this topic. So I'm going to move on. There was and I'm not going to play the video because I didn't share it. I had the young ladies, the grandmother of one of her children contact me. We have a culture that now it is beyond bothersome. Yeah, you can keep that up while I'm talking. And so this culture of violence is very problem. We have a gang violence problem. We also have got a problem with violence against women. So this video, and this isn't the first one. Within the past 10 days, I've had 2 videos sent to me of young Black women uh, basically talking and giving their experience with domestic violence. And it's horrific. It's horrific. I have mentored young girls for over 25 years. And so you see what's, you see the patterns and what their abusers say. So the young lady put the video up. Her boyfriend beat her he's a rapper, beat her with a pistol. He has shot at her before, stomped her, punched her. She received stitches in her above her eye. She had her lip busted, and she had her scars on her arms from the grabbing, down her face. And the aunt reached out to me. And the mom, not the aunt, the mom, I ended up talking to one of the aunts. But we have to start saying that for people in our community that we deserve better. And we can't just say, oh, well, she just likes to get her butt whooped. You know how she is. No, no. Because when you talk to these young people, there's a story. And when I'm having these conversations, first is, okay, you got to want to get out of this. One, you have to want to get out for your children and for yourself. Because when your children, and this person, he beat her in front of her children. He beat her in front of the children and her friends. And so when they're creating or doing this behavior, it becomes a learned behavior of the children. One, the young women's, the children, the female children will think it's okay for a man to beat them because they've seen it and it's familiar. The male children will, a lot of them will see it's okay with beating on their female counterparts as they get older because it's a seen and learned behavior that as a child, they've seen it. So I'm talking to the young lady, and it was someone else who was around. They were listening, and they had not really, this person was like, this had happened to my daughter, I would have killed him. And he was saying, like, how do you know? I said, I've dealt with a lot of these young women. And so in her story goes, her mother was abused. At 14, her mother was pregnant by her first child. By the time her mother was 18, her mother had 4 children. Her mother was sexually abused. Her mother didn't know how to be a mother to her child because she had not had a mother. And so the young lady who was just abused was first touched at 5 years old by her grandmother's boyfriend. Went on to be abused by cousins and by uncles because predators know how to find their victims. They know. She was even abused by women who had sexually abused her. And so this is the thing that for me, it is a very difficult topic, but we got to start talking about it because we know that it happens. So the other part is she's talking to me and it becomes your body is really not your body. And a lot of these, the guys, I want you to sleep with this woman. I want you to do sexual acts because they feel that that's the only thing that you have to give. And they can control you. They try to control your mind. They physically beat you down. And they do this. She had been so abused from 5 years old that it doesn't even seem abnormal to her because this is the life that they're in. So when we're looking at, and I played that video of that Marathon gas station where they up there fighting and clowning and shooting and killing, then had some killings there. We have a problem with that. I do. because a lot of them people don't know. They didn't have nobody to tell them to sit your butt down. No one to tell you are beautiful. You are unique. You are loved. They didn't have that. And so the child that the community does not show its love to them, they will burn it down. And then they wonder why we got all these young girls and gangs and boys. They're burning the community down because the community has not embraced them. So I said to I was at the day, and I had some friends kind of like, you still there with her? Yeah. As long as she needs me, I'm going to be there. I stayed at the police department with her. Absolutely. Because if she wants change, and then make sure I got her some help. Let's get you some help through the YWCA, and domestic violence hotline. So, Mick, I know we have the please donate, and I'm going to stop, then I'm going to get back to this. I'm going to need you to change the graphics real quick. So we do have the please donate Cash App 810 News Media Group. We are changing some things, and we do need you to donate so that shows like mine, which I do not get paid, can bring you funds. So if you could please donate to Cash App 810 News Media Group, I would greatly appreciate it. It will help us to help you and to get out information like this. Mickey, can we put up the graphics? Then we're going to go back to putting that up right after that. But I want to show. So, Melissa, you had a thing that when men hit on women, join the army or the military since you like to fight. And I like that. Not that one. It's another one. I want to do that one afterwards. It's that one with the man holding up. So for men, it is not normal. And we need to quit saying, oh, she likes to be hit on. These girls have got so much trauma. So I got this from Melissa's page, which is Michael Basin's show, which says that it states, I can't see it, Mickey. Is it up? Okay. So it says, draft the men who put their hands on women since they want to fight so bad. Draft the men who put their hands on women since they want to fight so bad. Because most often, they're not fighting another man. They're not. They real tough with women, but they are not tough with other men. It's a whole different energy. Whole different energy. And I have a real problem with that. So she's not the only young lady that I'm helping. It is a culture in our city. Some people be like, oh, I had the holiday weekend. Let's put up the domestic violence ones. Mr. I'm not gonna put his last name. He called me so many times. All the seniors on their street, they had people was asking, well, what is it on Roscoe Street? They had a street party. They had naked girls out there twerking in the middle of the street. One of them hopped on the police car. She hopped on the police car, and they couldn't even get down the street. They had to drive on the grass. So young women, we have to teach them that their bodies are temples, that your body is a temple. Everybody is not to touch your body. Your private parts are just that, private for whoever your partner is. And so signs of domestic violence, I need you to make that bigger. Yeah, we can leave it up okay. So signs of domestic violence, because we need to recognize that we need to talk about it in our community. Extreme jealousy. If he's jealous of you, jealous that you have a job, jealous you got a new car, jealous of anything that you got, jealous of other men or women in your life, that's a sign. Possessiveness. If he only wants to be with you, he's very possessive of you. Who you talking to? I didn't tell you to talk to that person. He wants to look in your phone all the time. He's where you been? How long you been there? What time you leave? If he's making you say, well, call your friend. I want to hear her say that that's where you were at. Possessive, unpredictability. When you can't predict this behavior, when you talking, he might just smack the crap out of you, or he punch you in your face and your stomach. And you got some who are good. They will only bruise you up where it can't be seen. Harassment at the workplace. They're harassing you at your work. They're harassing the victim at their workplace. You come out, he's sitting in the parking lot, or he's driving by, or he's coming there saying he wants to speak to you. Harassment at work, following you to and from work. Number 5, abuse of other family members or pet. When he not only abuses you, the female, but he abuses the pets, kicks the dog, throws the cat. We have to pay attention to the sign. Cruelty to animals. 7, verbal abuse, when he cussing you out, calling you everything but your government name. Verbal abuse is a big one. And it generally a lot of times it begins with verbal abuse. Number 8, extremely controlling behavior. When they control everything that you do, what you wear, what you eat, who you with, even if you have children, the time, everything. If he's controlling everything that you're doing, if he has a bad temper and you feel like you're walking on eggshells when he's trying to control everything that you do, he has a bad temper and you are so afraid of him or to be your authentic self because anything you say may trigger him. He has a bad temper. Demeaning of the victim, either privately or publicly. Him cussing you out, telling you how bad you're not cute. You think you fine. You fat. Your hair ain't together. You don't know how to dress. You a bum. You ain't got money like I got. I'm making this money. You don't know how to get money. I'm getting this money. You ain't like them hoes over there. If he's demeaning you. So, Mickey, put up another one because this is a problem with our young girls. It is. I don't know how many fights I've seen, and I don't know, they put on World Star now. So other signs of domestic violence. Oh, that one is really unrealistic expectation, jealousy, controlling behavior, fast-moving relationships. You meet him this week, he in love with you next week. Isolation, when they isolate you from your family. Blames others for feelings, cruelty to animals or children, playful use of force and sex. He has a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde syndrome. He one person this way, he drink, he get crazy, or he just switch. He may have a personality disorder, breaking or striking objects, force during an argument, threats of violence, because they'll follow through. Okay, Mick, let's take that off. So if you need help, and it is, let's put up the help one. It is a YWCA. So if you need help or you know someone, there is help. And I'm going to talk about this every week because it is real. It's very real. The first step is they have to want change if you know that they're a victim. And let's not judge these young women. It's not like she like to get her butt beat. They have stories. They have trauma in their lives. Very real trauma in their lives. And hearing their stories to push them through, that is not okay. A 14, a mom who's been abused and is still being abused and is a drug addict and alcoholic, is not going to be able to tell her daughter not to take abuse when she's still in an abusive relationship. And her daughter has children and she's being abused. It's a learned behavior because this daughter is seeing her mother in it. So if you want or need help, there is a 24-hour crisis line. And the number is 810-238-7233. If you need help, there is a 24-hour crisis line. The number is 810-238-7233. Or if you know someone who needs help, you need someone to go with you, contact me, inbox me, and my number, and I'm going to say my number, if someone could put in the chat, contact me at 810-471-7849. If someone could put it in the chat too, you can put my number in the chat. Contact me, Tonya Burns, at 810-471-7849. And if there's a young lady who needs the help, please contact me. Or if you're a grandmother, because I was contacted by a grandmother that said she may listen to you. Another one, I was contacted by an aunt. I will help you. I will get help to get you. I will go to the police station with you. Because one thing I learned, sometimes police do not treat you the same. When you go there, they do not treat you the same. They're judgmental, some of them. Like, oh, well, you almost deserve that. No. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. So if you need help and you need my help to get you to the resources, contact me at 810-471-7849. 7849. Please do that. I will help you. I will go with you to the police department, because police, I've seen them treat some of these victims different, because these girls may have on a little tube tops and little booty shorts, and they looking like, nope, what we're not going to do is do that. And I make sure we do what there's a step and the resources that are available. I make sure that I don't allow them to be misused or abused or talked too crazy, because they've been through a lot. They've been through a lot. So some of the comments, because I told Mickey we're going to be here from 10 to 7. We're going to be here no whole shift today. So listen, seriously, make sure y'all put that in there. What did somebody say? What if I've been poisoned comes to mind? Generation. What are they talking? I'm missing the chat. Okay, I'm done. Jessica Stewart, Tracy Jones. What if I've been poisoned comes to mind? General, like, I can't even talk. Yeah. Okay. Generate. It's a lot, ain't it? Yeah, and a lot of it is generational curses, generational abuse. And so you have to have someone to step up and say, it has to change. I don't believe in keeping anybody's dirty secret. And I'm not just saying that she's the first person. I can't tell you how many people I've helped. I cannot tell you. I can't even tell you how many people, and I think I shared the story before, that when I was a teenager, one of my friends was, she was being raped. She had been raped by a relative. And I called my aunt. Well, I woke my mother up, and then I called my Aunt Muriel. My Muriel met us over there. So the Black women be on it. And she came to stay with us, and we were in high school still, because you have to do something. Contact me. I will get you to the resources to get help. Okay. Jessica Stewart said, this is why parents need to be diligent about building that foundation of strength and self-worth. I think that this is what ultimately moves potential abuse victims to out a red flag, number one. And we have to, and thank you, the red flags. And those are red flags, what I mentioned. Sheena Beck said, at this point, I have to ask, what does Flint really want? A city with 50 to 11 million 501c3s that seems to offer little resource support and refuge, low voter turnout, industrial desertion, and poor educational opportunities. It seems that the plot is lost. I'm going to share next week some stuff, because I've had some great meetings with people, and it begins with our leadership. Our leadership, if people aren't speaking out about our issues and they're elected, we might want to start looking at some different elected officials. We should. And how many times do you hear our mayor saying, I want this for this side of town, the north side? You don't hear that. Or the poverty in our community. They sent back 35 million of one round of paying off for water bills and helping residents. But then he turned around and he put 9,000 liens on people's property. He put 9,000 liens on people's property, but he didn't get someone to fill out the paperwork. He could have paid for that, get an attorney to fill it out, find someone, pay for, do a professional service contract, have someone do that. And Sheena, I know you said it, but look, I do, but we have to talk about the issues to fix it. And so we have to change the mindset, and it begins with having open and true and transparent conversations. But if our leadership isn't saying, what am I doing for my residents, the people? And it's about what I'm doing and how flashy, how great I am. What are you doing for the people? We have got so many underlying issues. And when we look at what is Flint getting, we have gentrification. Gentrification is real. So they're moving us out to move other people in. I've seen in other communities, Chicago, parts of the South Side. Listen, it's nice. $2 million homes, some of them. So we have to pay attention. But it's the people. People say, I don't want to come to council. If you're not at council, and people have said, I spoke with a gentleman whose mother was there, and he spoke. I think he got through out too. But he says, I watch it, but it's not the same with me coming. You know, he says that my mother's here and I'm here checking on my mom. He said, I just decided to come down. It's different when you're seeing it because you are encompassing everything. Just like even the video with Woodson, you really couldn't hear and see the bantering of Leon. Leon is not for the people. He's for his nonprofit. His nonprofit is for his profits in his pocket profits. And so we have to put people that are for the people, and we got to change that. We have to. So council can have almost the same. We can have the same. We're the legislative, the mayor's executive. With 5 people, we can do some great things for the city. And then advocating for the residents. You don't have to be a mayor to advocate, although he should be in our state rep. They should be advocating. Between the two of them, Flint should have so many resources that we should know what to do with it. And we don't have that. You don't have that. And that is a problem. We should have so much from the state rep down, and he was a state rep before, that the resource of people should be like, this is the reason why, if we want to vote for them because they're doing so much. We don't have that. We don't. So I am going to cross a big cross down the paper down sign and take a picture of it. Leon about himself. Somebody said, then you're like to get thrown out, so why go? You got to go. I mean, people were still listening. People sat at those bar stools. I couldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if I'm standing on the shoulders of Shirley Chisholm. I'm standing on the backs of the civil rights movement. I'm standing on the right for the women's rights movement because women didn't have rights. And so if we all say, what if I don't go? You can invoke change. And they don't like those chambers feel. But what the biggest thing you can do is get out and vote. First ward voters need a change. Councilman Mays was alive. Oh, we would be moving and shaking. But he isn't. Michelle Mayer Flint is at the bottom of every list of cities served. Michelle Mayer, you keep track of that. You are 100% right. We are. Okay, look, it is 11:56, y'all. And football is coming on and Mickey is getting antsy. And listen, people would have been staying. Look. Go. No. I'm getting ready to go too. Trevor here? No, I was gonna have him come in. He got access and get in and do this. No. Look, y'all go watch football. Look, we gonna get out of here. Like I say, as Michelle Obama said, do something. Enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Click, like, share. Please donate to Cash App 810 News Media Group. Cash $$ 810 News Media Group. All right, y'all. Enjoy your weekend.